Good morning, Cowboy Jim here. It's almost not morning. I have been studying all my videos in an effort to learn a little more, which encompasses quite a lot. And I have tried to take them from being so morally somewhat challenging to something that a person would have time to actually watch rather than cutting into your day and I mean really chewing a hole in your day. In an effort to help me understand myself, I remembered a few stories about our horses over the years, and Judeon and Brown Boy, and horses that to me stood out from the crowd. I was just talking to my eldest son, and I was trying to recall where he and I had run across a horse entrapment device where wild horses, and there are a lot of wild horses west of Sundre. There are more wild horses than most people understand, and my son and I had come upon this horse trap. What that was a round pen that would be about 20 foot across, entry fairly wide, arms going out from that pen on an angle that would allow riders to herd some truly wild horses into this little valley wherein we found the trap, and ride them, push them. Hopefully not too hard, but I have never had I was going to say privilege, but I'm not sure how I would describe it. Anyways, I've never seen wild horses being herded into such a trap. And that trap was not old, and it was not new. And as we rode up on that trap, initially we couldn't see anything in the little round pin area from which the arms, so on. I tried to explain that. I'm not sure if I did a very good job. And one thing in nature that we have found over the years is don't talk too much. That may sound like a very simple thing, but most communication when a dad and son are out in the mountains can be done with sign language. The need to talk is not really as strong when you're surrounded with the true beauty of nature. The encroachment of man, yeah, horse trap. Well, they serve their purpose, and I guess Fish and Wildlife do the same thing nowadays by allocating a certain number of animals that should be harvested from a herd and so on. And anyways, my son and I, we rode our horses. He was riding Judean. I was riding Big Jerry. And we rode up to the entry. We were quite shocked to see this horse trap. We had never seen that particular one. There are those out there that you run into time to time. Back in the 50s, 60s, early 70s, people caught wild horses. And the ones that were good enough, they would train, and that's where what are called wildies come from. And they say they can trace their the genetics back to the Spaniards and so on. And I'm not I'm a cabinet maker, that sort of thing. Run heavy equipment, fall off horses. And as my son and I rode up to this pen, we were not, as I say, speaking. Not necessary when you were presented with the magnitude, the beauty of nature. And sitting by herself was a little muley doe. And it was kind of shaded because there are a lot of trees that were there that were used to camouflage the trap. And the wild horses would be herded in from the bright sunlight into a very darkened place, and that they could not jump over the fence, which were just stacked 6-inch lodgepole pine, that sort of stuff, and they would bunch up in there because there is safety in numbers. But anyways, this day as we rode up, little muley doe stood up, and my son and I were blocking the entry, and we were not doing it to be cruel. We were doing it to see what the lady would do. I don't shoot deer. I don't enjoy eating the meat. And perhaps if I were hungry, I would learn how to enjoy eating that. But I cook, so usually have plenty to cook. We rode up. The doe stood up. She was not afraid, because my son and I, sitting on our horses, not speaking, not making a lot of movement. That doe, and we blocked the entry. But not really. We could have put our horses sideways, so on and so on. She probably would have walked right under the belly of whatever horse she chose to walk under. But instead, she eased herself forward toward us. Not scared, not even for a moment. And if you study animals, you pretty well can get a sense of where they're at in their escape mechanism. That's what animals do. They escape danger, all that sort of stuff. She did not look upon our being on our two horses as being a threat in any sense of the word, because her actions indicated that. She was not nervous. She was not doing the things that you would normally expect a deer to do that was afraid. Rather, she just walked towards us. And there was barely enough room between my son's horse, Judean, and mine, Big Jer. But she nudged in beside us, this beautiful, beautiful Yeah, people don't understand. If you're hungry, well, go for the gold, son. But if you're not hungry, you do not need to kill. Don't kill. Simple. There are those things that could and should possibly, but and I make my own choices in that department. They're mine. That little doe squeezed between our two horses. That meant she brushed up against my son's right leg and my left leg, and squeezed past the shaps and gently just made her way past us. Because in nature, it does seem as though animals do not recognize you as a human while yet you're still sitting on the horse. You talk. Hopefully, it's not been too long since you had a shower, that sort of thing. Because animals have a sense of smell that is astounding, an ability to smell. And she eased out past us, and we were making good eye contact with each other because a dad, a son, I have two sons. I have four grandsons. Irish. We watched that beautiful doe walk away. And we rode our horses into the round portion of the peon, and it was, I understand why she was laying in there. Must have been a foot of soft sand-like substance, combination of maybe a little topsoil, muskeg, all that sort of stuff. Very soft. The sun just shining in there just enough that she would have been quite warmed in the sun. Bare Ass Lake. Boy, I'll tell you, the sun can dry you out and warm your body and your heart, your soul, your spirit, actually. And I don't know how many times my boys and I have done such entertaining stuff as to be able to reach down and rest your hand on the back of a muley doe as she squeezes between the two horses. I don't understand why people kill seemingly for the joy of killing. I do understand killing for the joy of putting food on the table. Harvesting, shall we say, as a good farmer, rancher, city person would do, were they to understand the benefit of not having critters so overpopulated that they starve. And anyways, we had done that many times. Well, I remember the day we rode up Yohatinda. And boy, my son and I, we were trying very diligently to remember, well, where exactly was that? Was that, in the Williams, J.I. Hill? It may have been J.I. Hill. This long time ago. And Parker Ridge, the Williams had a lot of wild horses in there. And we certainly have an appreciation for horseflesh. And not from a food standpoint, children. Okay? Don't go there. No. But of an appreciation for raw beauty, heart beauty. I want you to know something. A muley doe, whitetail doe, or whatever, can kick the ever-loving hell right out of you. I know. Being a bit up close and personal, not personal, up close. And little deer, they kick. Not with their hind feet that I have ever seen. A horse favors the hind feet. I've been on the receiving end a couple of times. Not good, not good. German mare, oh, not good. But a deer can reach out with those front, I think it's called cloven, split hoof, and just inflict huge pain. They are so quick. I'm fairly functional myself, but nothing compared to a deer. If you think there's a chance that you might actually be able to catch the hoof of a deer as it's kicking you, not trying to kick you, they don't try, they do kick you. Well, you're delusional. One of the most entertaining things I did, this sounds crazy perhaps, on our little ranch, I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be able to say that, but on that little ranch, I would walk out of the cabinet shop, horse barn, that's mostly where I lived after many years of whatever, and I would speak to every critter, whether it were a horse or one of my heifers, which I did end up eating, and I truly thank them. Good beef. And I sat at the end of a round bale, and four muley does were walking towards me, and they had their little babies in tow. I think altogether there were 7, 4 adult does, and I think 3 babies. And I sat there at the end of the bale, and I did not blink. And I didn't even have my camel on. I was just sitting there with my crossbow. And they stopped and they looked at me, and they're very familiar with me, heard my voice. I would speak to them every time I would walk from one building to the next. And so they were not afraid. They weren't. I don't want to be feared by anyone. Mountain lions, that's a different story. Wolves, okay. Grizzly, I would rather they feared me than realize that I truly feared them. The deer hesitated as I sat there at the end of the bale, and then it's just the old rancher, and they just walked right towards me. And 2 does went on my right side, and 1 went on my left side. But I was sitting, leaning against a bale. There were 20 or 30 big round bales, and they chose to eat off from the bale that I was sitting at. And I thought, boy, I hope the lady in the house sees this and gets the video camera out, because people don't believe, because they don't know. People, they say, believe a lie only when it fits their agenda, their perspective. Then they will take the worst gossip in the world and say, oh yeah, this must be true, and may not have anything to do with truth at all. The deer, plural, eating away, I'm sitting there not breathing much, no, not talking, not blinking. And the one deer kind of on my right, and I have pretty good peripheral vision without being necessary to move my head. She was real close to my right side. And as I watched, she kind of leaned ahead and brought her nose within 12 inches of my crossbow and smelled and sniffed to understand what it was. But she wasn't afraid, because I was not a threat to her. And she smelled. She looked beautiful. Her eyes. Oh, I pay attention to eyes. I have seen the most beautiful eyes. Known to mankind. Second most beautiful was that doe, and she trusted me. She may have thought, well, she may have had really bad eyesight. I don't think so. I don't. Anyways, when you reach your hand out to anyone, I guess this is a little morality thing here. My whole mission in life has been an ongoing war against child abuse and abuse of women. And you can get a target on your back when you stand up for something that is meritorious. And I have known the joy of having a target on my back, and I sometimes fail and miss totally the whole essence of what I'm about and all that sort of stuff. Children, look out for, take care of, be kind to children who have been hurt, and adult women who have been hurt as children through psychological abuse or sexual abuse. Men as boys have been through a lot as well. Care one for another. Look out for each other. Be nice. Be kind. Never look at another with the idea that you are looking for faults in them that will make you feel better about yourself. Not how it should be done, children. Not how. Okay, 24. Tiny bit over, not too much. 38 seconds left. Children, God bless Satan. Not all people are the same. Not everyone is a terrible, mean-spirited person, robbing, stealing, destroying. Oh, that's the one who's called the father of lies. God bless you. God bless you. You have a good day. Think about wounded baby children. Think about what God would have you to be. God bless.